We will go ahead and get started with our Verizon IndyCar Series post-qualifying press conference, joined now by Scott Dixon, who will start sixth in tomorrow's Go-Pro Grand Prix of Sonoma. Scott, it was a very, very competitive qualifying session out there. A lot of people were lauding it as probably the most important qualifying session of the season so far. Do you feel like it lived up to the hype? And overall, what are your thoughts on your starting position for tomorrow's race?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, as a team, I think this is always one of our most difficult circuits that we come to. And this morning, I think, we'd made some good gains, but the conditions this afternoon, we just didn't have the grip. It was kind of strange. The balance felt good. The car was kind of, decent to drive, but just couldn't carry the speed through the corners. So, kind of interesting. We almost didn't make Group 1, and then just, squeaked through in Q2. So good to make it through to where we did. It was definitely hard work, and big credit to the team. Sixth position, you can definitely make lots happen from there. I think in 15 we started ninth when we won that race. So definitely plenty. You'd want to be a little further up, but that's the way it goes. So we'll make the most of the starting position and see what tomorrow brings.
You do have 3 wins here at this track, a lot more than any of your closest championship contenders anyway. Does that give you some confidence heading into tomorrow?
You can't really dwell on those. Each of them are very different in how they occur. I think we had another one there where we kind of checked out too and ended up with a penalty. So it's we'll just have to see how the car is on the long run. We always know that the Penske is going to be strong here. The other manufacturers, Aerokit is going to be strong at this track. We know the deficits that we have, but we can, still as a team overcome those, whether it's strategy or a car on the long run. That's hopefully going to be good.
Questions for Scott, starting with Tony.
Scott, how many strategic options can you really make for this race? Because it's such tight windows, and I know Mike kind of helped with that in the past.
It really depends on when the first caution, happens, if it does or if it doesn't, and then that will, sort of let the rest of them lay out. But we all know, how big a caution can be and when it falls and what it does to the field. So sometimes, if you're at the front, you're a bit of a sitting duck in a scenario like that, as we've seen in the past too. So I don't know. We'll see what our options are. I don't think you really want to run too long. The degradation is high, and the first couple laps on new tyres is pretty strong too. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what caution's going to.
Other questions, Mary?
Scott, that seemed kind of like a nail biter of a qualifying run, like you got bounced out, then you fought your way back in. Was there anything that the team was able to do to improve the car between the different qualifying tiers?
Yeah, we just, the first run we kind of left it down to being that it was just a sports car race, and probably the tyre rubber was, not as we would have liked, but, the car was pretty loose, so we just took a little bit of front wing out. But I think mechanically the car was quite decent. Why we lost some speed from this morning, we'll have to sort of go and check that out and see why that is. And I know a lot of it was actually in turn 3. For some reason the car was just really loose there and bottoming a lot, so we'll have to check to see if maybe third gap or something is wrong.
Yes, David.
Hey Scott, sorry. It seems, at least historically, it's a lot cooler this weekend here in Sonoma than it is in years past. How is that affecting what's going on the circuit?
It's the same for everybody. I think our car actually is maybe a little more, it doesn't really like the heat as much, so it's maybe favoring us a little bit. But, it's in theory, it's the same for everybody, but, tire degradation should be less. Speed should be up, grip should be up, the engine performs better. So it's, whenever the ambient's cooler, it's good for many different reasons for any kind of race car. But, it's better for the fans in the stands too, I guess.
Other questions for Scott? Scott, thank you very much.
Cool,
Good luck
thank you.
tomorrow.
Thanks.
His leg, your arm. What's going on?
It would help so much to do that. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and continue with our Verizon IndyCar Series post-qualifying press conference, joined now by Will Power and Elio Castroneves, who will be starting second and fourth respectively in tomorrow's Go-Pro Grand Prix of Sonoma. Will, we'll go ahead and start with you. This is a track that you've seen a lot of success at with 5 poles and 3 wins. You're starting on the front row tomorrow. I know championship, maybe not quite front of mind, but certainly not super far away either.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely possible. I mean, you know, Scott and Joseph have a bad day. I mean, I can be right there because of Simon.
He had to make an entrance.
It's all already. You better not do that on the track tomorrow.
Position here. Come on, go back.
You never give me room on the track. What do you expect? Yes. Yeah.
Hurt himself. Hurt his knee. Oh yeah.
Elio starting 4th in tomorrow's race, 1 pole and 1 win here. I heard you saying after qualifying that you weren't quite sure with the handling of your car heading into qualifying, maybe not as confident that you could get that pole position, but your thoughts on where you're starting for tomorrow's race?
No, we were confident. We definitely knew what to do. In fact, we took a risk in the first qualifying. We did not even ran our reds or another blacks like those two did, and it paid off. Unfortunately, I was having some issues in turn 2 and turn 6, so I was losing quite a lot of time. We made some change for the last one, the last qualifying. Unfortunately, this place is so much of a commitment that I had only 1 lap, and you know, I made that lap, in fact, and the second one I was actually even a little bit faster, about 2/10 faster, but still not quick enough of those guys. But unfortunately, I couldn't make the corner. So it's one of those. This place is very technical, and if you don't know what the car is doing, it's becoming a very difficult, especially in the qualifying. We're so close together. But the Hitachi shed was really good. Actually, the entire team Penske did a phenomenal job here. Today was Joseph's day, and well, I'm happy for him today, but prefer to have the win actually, so than the pole position.
Simon Pagino starting 3rd in tomorrow's race. Simon, we talked with you yesterday and you said that you did feel very confident heading into this qualifying session and this weekend in general. Starting 3rd tomorrow, how are you feeling about that position and your chances for not only the race win but the championship tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously we all have the same cars, so it's, and we've had a lot of testing, so it's, it was very much down to the perfect lap, and I think Joseph did a tremendous job. On our side, it was a good strategy. You know, we managed to transfer to Q2 on the black tires, which was our strategy all along. It worked, and in the Fast 6, it's just, you know, that one little bit of lap time that you need. And I went all in as hard as I could. Made a little mistake in turn 6, asking for too much. But that's how you get pole positions, and today it just wasn't my way. So, you know, quite satisfied. I mean, overall, it's awesome for Team Penske. 1, 2, 3, 4 once again here. Testament to the team doing such a good job, and you know, nothing's lost. Tomorrow's a long race, lots of tire wear, so I'm hoping for a really strong showing.
Thank you. Joseph Newgarden wins his first pole of the season here at Sonoma Raceway with a track record of 1 minute 15.5205 seconds. Joseph, your first pole of the season, your first pole actually since 2015, but how much does it mean to you to finally get it here at the track where it seems to matter most?
It's better late than never. You know, I feel like we've had a couple places this year where we were capable of getting poles and it just didn't materialize. You know, I feel like we're getting better and better, and you know, today we threw everything at it at the end there. You know, we're a little bit on the back foot, but we have such good race cars, and you know, they certainly hang on to the tires so well, just from all the work that we put in, I feel like, at the shop with all these guys. So huge credit to the team and to everyone that's driving these cars, because you know we've been working on them for the last week and a half to try and do this, and it's fun that we were able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a good day for the team, but it's only phase 1. We got phase 2 tomorrow to get through, and we'll see where we end up.
Questions, starting with Bruce.
Joseph, is this an example of your peaking at the right time?
I think we're getting better. We've been getting better this second half of the year, without a doubt. You know, I think the more time we've had, the more experience together, you know, the better we seem to do. So that's a good thing for us on the 2 cars specifically, and you know, I feel like we're able to contribute more and more to the overall group. You know, the more we've gone throughout the year. So absolutely, it's better. It's the best time to be doing it. Is right now to get a pole. It helps for tomorrow, but it's only part of the equation. The race is what's really important. The pole didn't really actually matter today. You win the race, pole doesn't really mean anything. So tomorrow's the big thing we got to focus on now.
Other questions? Any other questions? Bruce, another question?
Bruce, come on.
Almost got home right.
Tim was saying that you made their strategy look good with the way that they did the allotment of tires there toward the end. And in a lot of ways, you kind of manhandled your way on that lap. What was it like inside the cockpit?
I don't know if I manhandled it. I mean, we had great race cars here, so we knew our car was fast. I think these guys they're all capable of doing the same thing on used tires. So who's not to say that used tires would have been a little bit better for one lap. So maybe that was the case today. But we were behind the 8 ball there for sure. After the first round. We made the best decision we could as a group. We were first out, and there was no way we couldn't run the reds because we just had no idea what people were going to run. We weren't sure if we would be secure on black tires. So, we ended up that we would have been safe, so we didn't need to run the reds. But obviously, these guys were able to watch that and make a better decision than us in the second round. So I was a little bit surprised, but at the same time, I'm not because we got the best team out here, giving us the best equipment, and when you have that, you know that anything is possible.
Yes, Patrick.
Will 3.5 hundredths, not tenths, 3.5 hundredths off the pole. What's that? What is that? Is it a piece of dirt? Is it frustrating to be that close? I mean, that's a tiny margin.
Yeah, well, I mean, then you start going back to the lap in your head. It's like, I could have just hit the throttle a little earlier there. Yeah. That would have made that helped me braking actually, push you back. So, yeah, it's tight. It's just like that sometimes. And then, gave it everything I got, and that's the situation.
Yes, David in the back.
Given the huge variations that you can get around here with wind direction and sand lying on the track and that kind of thing, how different are your setups between the four of you? You must have been able to look at it over the course of the weekend and in testing. How close are your setups? This is for any of you, all of you.
Well, we've been here for a week and a half, so.
It's pretty much identical.
Yeah, they're pretty damn close. You'd be surprised. There's maybe a couple tiny baby differences. Will has some odd feelings that he likes, and I do too. All of us do. So we have these little baby differences, but the car has really merged over the last week and a half. In all honesty, it really has, because we've had so much time. I think we've honed in on what works, what doesn't. They're not much different at all, to be honest.
Brant, did you have a question?
I did.
Go for it. This is your time.
Your time. Come on.
No pressure.
Joseph. It's our time now.
Okay.
Turn the lights down. No.
Make it as awkward as possible.
It feels better now. Considering the points that got away from your previous race, a point that you get today is a point that Scott can't get, but is there any sort of confidence or momentum factor just coming in and grabbing the first one available and getting back on?
I mean, it helps. It helps for the start of the race, I think. You got to think it helps, but how many IndyCar races have you seen where, being on the pole wasn't the right thing for the race, with the way yellows fall or whatever it is. So I hope it's straightforward tomorrow. That would make our job a lot easier. And then we just have to focus on making a fast race car that lasts. But you never know. I mean, Scott could be, I hope I'm not being, poetic with talking about him starting 6th and that being the best thing, but you just never know in an IndyCar race. It could fall his way in a heartbeat. So I don't think we take any comfort in it, but we'll certainly take it. We'll take that point, and we'll take the clean air to start the race, and hopefully it falls our way.
Yes, Tony, and then Mary.
Joseph, do you feel like you can even really celebrate this pole? Because your first pole was the same day in Milwaukee, so you can celebrate that. Now it's like you got the championship, and it's like, the pole didn't mean anything. So can you actually really celebrate it, or is it just best starting spot?
No, it's good for us. We're happy. I'm really happy for the 2-car guys because they've wanted a pole all year. I think they deserved it at a couple points this year. I feel like we've had shots at it, and it just didn't work out. So I'm really happy for that, but yeah, I don't think it means anything for the race. It really doesn't. You win the pole and you lose the race, then you lose the championship. So it's really doesn't mean anything today. Tomorrow is really all that matters.
Mary and then Phil.
I'll ask this of Elio, since you're the senior man on the team. It would seem to me as a team, if you're looking at the championship overall, if you've got a limited number of test days, you would think the last race with double points would be a good time to do a test, which Team Penske did. And then suddenly there's an open test day for everybody a couple days ago, Thursday. So were you, as a team, able to learn anything more to come back again last Thursday? And basically, did you do race simulation, something like that?
Yeah, well, you see, the top 4 today here, it's Team Penske, so it made a lot of sense. We planned that at the beginning of the year. We're surprised actually people did not decide to join Team Penske. I'm not sure how the rules work, if they were allowed or not, but the point is, they were allowed, right? Yeah, I don't understand why they, as you mentioned, it's 100 points. So for us, Team Penske, we're throwing everything out there. We wanted this championship as bad as anybody, and we do have a chance, and we're gonna obviously try to execute, and that's our goal. So we did learn a lot. Not only as a qualifying, but also as a race pace. And certainly this place, the weather changed quite a lot. So even that we came here, it was one way, but it's still, at least that day we checked that box, so we knew what to do. But it was a progress to the entire weekend for us to keep improving our cars, and today it shows very well in the qualifying. But now we got to continue finishing the rest of the job.
Sylvie?
Yeah, each of you guys, I'm kind of wondering here, at what point after you leave here do you stop having dialogue with each other and you zone out and say, okay, I gotta kick these other guys' butts, I'm not talking to them anymore?
I'm just faking right now.
We all have to hang out tonight, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
we'll talk for a lot longer.
So tomorrow morning, maybe?
No.
Listen, I don't think this is a scenario that we're not going to talk to each other. Obviously, we want to win. We know the rules, we know the game, and right now we want to win as bad as anybody. But in the end of the day, we still got to deliver this championship to Roger, and that's we understand what we need to do, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Will Simon didn't say anything.
Well, when we have our helmet on, we can't talk, so I guess that's your answer.
You guys would be surprised if you put a camera in the engineering room and how much we goof around, I think. Because everyone thinks we're lying, and
It's only since you joined, Joseph, that the room's become much more lively. It's actually
I thought you said it toned down when Montoya left.
kind of, no, Montoya was never there. He was never in there.
When he was there, he was playing video games, so it was kind of like...
Depends on who has the energy that day, because it all changes. Some days Will's like on the pipe, and he's running hot. It's a go-kart term, by the way.
I wanted to ask what's caused the track record to drop so much, because I would have thought that with the Reds now becoming, the Reds are now based on last year's black compound, I'd have thought there'd have been less grip, there'd have been harder. What made it so perfect today?
I thought the timing was going to be similar as far as the I can't even speak, but the outright pace was going to be very similar to last year. I think what happened there was the track ripped up from the Pirelli World Challenge race. I was actually quite surprised. It was a little slippery for my first lap because we went out first. But after you got that off the track, it was like really gripped up. And I'm sure these guys will say the same thing, but it was pretty impressive how much grip was on the track.
Well, this year has been quite fast. I think the development of the cars as well improved a lot. And, not only from the mechanical engineer side, but a little bit of engine. So there is, even the tires probably wasn't the best. But I feel that actually wasn't that bad. It was actually perfect. So that's probably all, when you put all together, it definitely helped for the time to go really, really down.
Any other questions? Any questions upstairs in the press box?
meeting.